Ladies, do you like a guy who talks like this and then sells deodorant? That's not me. So anyway, this here is another consulting request, and if you have a consulting request, it doesn't have to be on video. Everyone keeps saying, I charge extra for video, just so you know, I do. You'll get the same information without me throwing it up on video, but everyone's video, I mean, okay, fine, it's going to be an extra $10, $20, so I will put it together, and we have a video request. And if you have a video request, or any kind of request, need any kind of guidance or wisdom in life, from a guy, I don't know, who's like your older brother type because your dad was dickless and let your mother run all over him and he wasn't a real father, or maybe he just like, fucking deadbeat dad and you fucking didn't know him, and like, where's dad? I don't know, but hey, you got your mom to fucking skew your fucking upbringing and think about women, just open your heart to the girls and everything would be wonderful. I remember, I'll tell you a little side story, you'll laugh at this. My mom, multiple times told me, women just don't like jocks. They just don't like, jocks? And they're all about sport fucking. It's a crass word. Yeah, become a jock, lift weights, run, be a badass, and sport fuck. There you go. So, anyway, so if you need, like, a non-mother advice, hey, look, and you ain't got your father's a douche, or he doesn't have a penis, I'm your older brother, bad uncle type, go to assholeconsulting.com. We're going to set you boys straight. And, you women, if you want advice too, we'll give it to you straight. Because, frankly, you want to talk about shitty consultation, look at the entire psychology profession and look at fucking Oprah. Well, just tell women whatever they want to hear. What do you, yes, you're such gorgeous. That's all therapy and all of the women's magazines and the TV daytime talk shows. The View. Do you watch View? Just love the View. We're fabulous. Yeah, I have been drinking. So, Jack writes, Dear Cappy, I occasionally hear from MGTOW, so that means men going their own way, if you didn't know the acronym, about references to angry aging feminists. According to them, women are really angry about men not being as excited about marriage. I have no idea where this is coming from because the number of women that are like this that I know is zero. I have stated that I do not plan on ever getting married, and the only people who get angry about it are older men with some kind of religious background. Although I agree with a lot of things in the MGTOW philosophy, I cannot help but think this is some kind of thing going on in their heads. I know that there are women like Alexandra Blue, but she seems more like a needle in a haystack and honestly seemed more amused in a weird way by MGTOW's existence than anything else. Do you know of any real non-internet women that are actually complaining about things like, where did all the men go? I must be completely oblivious to this. Is a common observation that many people in the manosphere make, but I have yet to see. Honest to God, this is how he wrote it. Please do not mention my name. All right, here's the deal. 1 year younger. So the women, this we could talk about the metaphorical wall if we want, but here's the thing. Women, when they're young and hot, have society bending over backwards to kiss their ass. And so they don't see men dropping out. Because for every man that drops out, there's either another guy who's thirsty or there's an alpha guy that wants to fuck him. And any kind of guy who's in between that might make good marriage material, they're not interested in because they've been sold, like the Alexandra Blue, that they're going to be independent, we're going to travel, they're going to be career, and then at 33.7 years of age, I'll get married and spit out children, and I'll go right back to my career. They are brainwashed. And not only are they brainwashed, all the men who are desperate and hungry fulfill this script, this narrative, whatever you will, this temporary environment that they live in where the world is their oyster. Now, feminism and you-go-girlism and all this other stuff does not teach them about the biological reality that their eggs are only fertile for so long and that they're biologically programmed to want to find a husband who's strong and strengthy and manly and and all this other patriarchal, evil, Republican, white male bullshit. That's what they're programmed to want. So they go through, and they're delusional. Now, they continue, so they are not even aware of it, and you are right up until that point that you're not going to see it. Like, well, these women don't seem like they're unhappy, are they? Let's enter the second stage of the third of three stages. Then comes the, what we could call the, what was the name of the show? Oh shit, it was a show in the 90s. My generation, all the women sucked it up whole. Sex in the City. Where you're 30-something and 40-something, you still are hot, and you're everything. And the media plays to these middle-aged women. They're not the hotties they used to be in their 20s, but you know, how many times have you fucking heard 40 is the new 20? Or whatever fucking bullshit they say. And then you got the women's magazines, you got the TV shows, you have roundhouse kicking chick cop shows. You got all of the media in the world telling these women that they're not old, that society's women that can do whatever they want, and you know, MILFs and cougars and pumas and all of those other fucking bullshit. That keeps them delusional for the next 15 to 20 years. It isn't until it's too late, and you're not even paying attention to these women anymore, when they're in their 50s and their 60s, do they wake the fuck up and realize it. And there are a handful, I don't want to say many, but there are many, okay, I guess there are many, because that was my visceral reaction to say many. There are many women who are now in their 50s and 60s, some even the 70s, saying, yeah, we fucked up. I cannot remember the woman's name because I'm too damn lazy to look it up. She wrote a piece, she was a feminist, she was all like that in the 70s, let's burn our bras. And she regretted it, and she started looking at her female feminist friends who have no family, no husband, maybe some divorces. There's nothing that can point to in their lives except they raged about being feminists. And it's a sad life. It really is sad. So you have to realize that their beauty carries them so far. Society, be it government because they want their votes, or corporations because they want their money, because women piss away money like you couldn't believe. Not a coincidence, Democrats and women are going to win the same. Carries them because they want to make money off these. Well, yeah, Sex in the City, yeah, you go girl, yeah, oh, you don't need a man, and a single independent woman's female roundhouse kicking chick hop show. And so that carries them until they're 50, and then by that time they're not even slightly attractive. Whatever value to society they would have had in terms of their beauty is completely gone, and then they're dumped out. And that's when the reality hits, and that's where you may have some kind of epiphany or wall hitting. So you being a younger man, you're not going to see that in the ones. Perfect fucking example. I got a buddy of mine. This guy isn't a millionaire yet, but he's damn close, and especially for his age. This guy's a catch by any standard. Good looking, in shape. Nice guy, too. Just a hell of a, solid guy. I'd set my sister up with him, but frankly, my sister isn't worth him. I mean, seriously, I'm like, dude, I'm doing, you deserve better. He's gone out with these gals, and they think that them having a child from another man or multiple children from another man is no big deal. They think it's like, and he's like, no. And then they call him, like, he's like, I want nothing, and they keep calling him. They don't understand why. Because society has told them that, well, it doesn't matter if you have another man's child or multiple men's children. It's sexist. You're a single, heroic mother. So the brainwashing is very severe in that stage. So it isn't until the game is over for them, and you have to look at it in retrospect. It's very, like Alexandra Blue you mentioned. I mean, that girl is on the path, and I sent her an email because I actually care. I want her to wake the fuck up. But she's like your prototype that's going to go down that path, and in 35 to 40 years' time is going to wake up at the age of 65, 70 and realize nobody wants anything to do with me. Because not only is she ugly physically because she's old, but she never got any skills or talents. And that's where most of these gals are headed. So the bubble, it is a literal, instead of a financial bubble, it's a psychological, mental marketing bubble for politicians to get female votes and corporations to get females' money to spend on whatever fucking trinkets and all that other crap. You could see it at People Magazine, Inquirer, and Thursday News 60, and all these, Cameron Diaz, Meg Ryan, all these other people. It's a bubble where it's sad and malicious and disgusting, but these entities just suck the lifeblood out of these women until there's no value left to them, societal or financially otherwise, and they just dump them out when they're 65 or 60 and it's over for them. So you can now more empirically say that's the philosophical model or spectrum we can talk about. But speaking more empirically, you see it in surveys of happiness surveys. Women are getting more and more miserable. women are delusional about like what the working world is like. They rue and regret not having kids or family or whatever else. It's just, employee satisfaction surveys, all this stuff, and they're just miserable. They're just so even though you don't see it empirically, because women have been brainwashed and fed, and trust you me, there's tons of desperate, thirsty beta men out there. There's just millions. It doesn't show up. Now, so that's the empirical. You look at happiness. There's one other thing, though, that's very interesting, and that is the number of women that cry late at night themselves to sleep. And this is a more common occurrence and phenomenon than you think. With these women, they'll go to a nightclub and and shoot down all the men in the world. And then later on that night, they cry themselves to sleep. What was the study? It was some study like 75% cry themselves to sleep at least once a week. That's miserable. I don't cry. I think the last time I cried was when I was in the 8th grade. You don't see it. They're going to hide it because it's all ego. It's all show and flash and cash and all the other stuff. And their heels and short skirts and bouncer let us in, lift the little velvet thing, let us in, boom, chicka boom, chicka boom, chicka boom. And then 4 hours later, in a drunken stupor, they're crying because, "Why can't I find a man?" So you're not going to see it because their ego and pride and the media and all that gets in the way. You'll see it more in 3 to 4 or 5 decades. I don't know how old you are, but you'll see it then. And you don't see it today, even in the 60, 70, 80. Well, you kind of do, but I'm thinking more like my grandma who's 90. She's not unhappy. She had a great marriage. She had a great guy. Everything was wonderful, and there was no regret. But you could definitely see it in the baby boomers, but I guarantee you watched, I'm assuming you're a millennial, but you watched the Gen X women. Already they're miserable and divorced. It's fucking hilarious. I mean, you can see it on Facebook, but wait until they hit 60 and whatever last remaining vestige of hotness they may have had, like a 45-year-old woman could attract a 64-year-old guy, who's got money. When those women hit 60, 65, they're fucking worthless. They're fucking worthless. I know that pisses off a lot of feminists, but that doesn't change the fact that it's true. I don't care how many people get pissed off. They have no societal value whatsoever, unless they're like, genuinely economically productive or intellectually interesting people. And that is when you're going to see it. So, yeah, you're not going to see it. Now, I will admit this about to address your MGTOW thing. Dude, at least half the MGTOWs are guys who couldn't get laid. I don't care how many MGTOWs and insults, because it's true. Half of the MGTOWs out there, "Oh, I'm going my own way because women aren't worth it. Fuck women. Women are horrible." You know what? I actually like women. I do. There are some damn fine women out there. They're friends. They're lovers. They're, family. But you have got to kind of screen what the MGTOW community says a little bit, because there is some legitimacy in that movement. Like, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm doing my own thing. I pissed away my 20s chasing tail. Fucking, I'm going to die. I'm fine. I'm going to do my own thing. But you don't dismiss women completely at the same time. It's like, well, yeah, if a girl comes, I always appreciate a girl like that. But then you got these guys like, fuck marriage, fuck women, fucking whores, fucking witches, that are genuine misogynists. I will admit that much. Those are the ones who never tried, or if they did do some token amount of effort, they tried and failed, and are now excusing their piss poor performance, or more likely 99% of the time, cowardice to not approach and dismiss it on women. "Oh, American women are just all whores. Oh, fucking women. They all want a guy with money and da-da-da." They'll come up with any excuse to excuse their lack of trying. So that's something you got to really worry about with the MGTOW community. So it is kind of like a Janus sort of thing. There's two faces. There's the legitimate, and there's like MGTOW's like, yeah, I'll take a woman. Yeah, I'm not against women. I'm just gonna go do my own thing. And then they're like, it's a principle, a philosophy. Women are evil. We swear off of them. It's like, no, that's covering up for piss poor performance. That's what it's that's covering up for you being too lazy to go to a fucking gym, hit the weights. That's too lazy for you to cut your hair, become an engineer, do something with your life. That's just you or your cowardice and covering up for it. So you really gotta interpret the MGTOW community a little bit there. But otherwise, yeah, there's gonna be no mea culpa, there's gonna be no anything. It's not gonna happen, at least until you're in your 40s, until these gals start to like, what? Men are, and they start to notice men are hitting on their daughters and not them. But really, there's so many thirsty, desperate men in America. It's not going to be until like these gals are in their 60s, or at least the late 50s, that guys, they just kind of like, that's when it hits. So yeah, that's what it is. Your aging feminists, they can spout it off for so long because of biology and then politics and corporatism and money. But once those entities use up them women for their votes and their money and everything else, they will get rid of them. Like the education industry will get rid of somebody with a liberal arts doctorate. Once they sucked out all the money out of them, like vampires, they're of no use to them, they're a corpse, and they're thrown away. And that's a really sad existence to be in. And that's where you would almost pity them if they weren't such arrogant fucking cunts the previous 60 years of their lives. So that's all I got. Hope that helped. Visit the Clary Podcast, CaptainCapitalism.blogspot.com, and assholeconsulting.com. Toodles.